Hi there, I'm Matt Keene. Welcome to Creating a Future We Want, the Our Learning series, where I share just a little bit about what we are learning as a family with my two daughters, 6 and 10 right now. My wife who's older than them and the perfect age. So, we're in Bryce Canyon now. Come on. I don't know what these pink rocks are here beside us, but that's amazing. And maybe if somebody ever watches these videos and happens to be a geologist, we can find out what these pink rocks are. Or I could look at the Bryce Canyon National Park, U.S. National Park Guide. Now, we've been using these guides a whole lot on these trips. And it's kind of amazing to open one up. You open it up, and at the top it has poetry in stone. So that sort of seems to me a bit about like the aesthetic, the art of Bryce Canyon, and this part of nature that we are honoring with a legal protection in the United States. And then we have the geology of Bryce Canyon. This is about objective truths about the foundations of this canyon, and much of the attraction of it is how ancient it is, and how long it has been evolving to have these incredible rock formations. I can see a window in a wall up there, dolomitic limestone, I believe is what it is, as the softer limestone has been washed away. We also have wildlife in Bryce on this guide, some of the different life forms. Here in Bryce Canyon, my young daughter has made great friends with just about every chipmunk, hasn't met a chipmunk she doesn't like. And we have on the other side the big image of the whole of the park, and we have the trail guide, some more of the life forms that you might find within this place. It talks about the trails, a very detailed, beautiful map. And then you have Starry Night, what this park is like at nighttime and what you might see in the nighttime. I'm guessing a whole lot more people do the hiking in the daytime and look at stars at nighttime. And, one of the things that we've been talking about in our education here a good bit recently is knowledge of self and knowledge of others. And this is in the context of our interests in wisdom and how we develop or pursue wisdom in our education and our lives. And I can't help but think, doggone it, I wish someone, like there had been one of these for each person I've met. I just said the person's name up here, and then it had like a guide to them, like a super fancy baseball card, sort of, a guide to them, something about their perspectives on art, some objective truths, maybe related to their health or something like that. Maybe some of the components of their life, the living parts of themselves, that and maybe then parts of like how they fit into the larger landscape of their community or their lives and the lives of their neighbors or where they're from. Maybe the trail map is something about the different pathways that they've been on in their lives and other pathways that they may choose to go on in their future. Maybe there's a section about their values um, that they prioritize in their lives, and their visions, the visions of various futures that they want to create. Maybe something about their actions that they're taking to create those visions. Folding maps, isn't that the craziest thing? The actions they're taking, how well they're doing at accomplishing these things, sort of the assessment, their assessment or others' assessment of their performance or their progress. And maybe all of that is in like a person guide. Maybe it would say Matt Keene here, and I'd be able to, when I met someone new, hand them this guide, and wow, they would know a lot about me before we get into working together or playing together. Maybe there's a guide for family, or one that's for neighbors, or one for the workplace. And I've heard this talked about user's manual and someone making their own user manual. So they start working with someone and give them a user manual. For me, that's a bit utilitarian, not to mention it brings up, like, conjures the images of all of those users manuals that I've had in the past that are in 12 different languages and they're print so small that you can't even tell which language you are reading. So, forget user's manual. We have been studying in our education self-assessments and personality assessments a little bit. As a way to not figure out who we are necessarily, but as a way to develop language to discuss who we and other people are. We don't want the map to be confused for the territory, right? Our representation or our ideas of the objective reality somehow getting confused with what the actual reality is. So we try not to get confused there, but we have been doing some very in-depth projects with personality assessments as a way to start conversations about, are we this way or are we that way? Are they this way? Might these two people work well together? Might they not get on well together? Might there be differences that are very important in their lives? So we've gone through a few different personality assessments, and that could be types of information that might be included in this sort of thing. So I love the idea about a person guide. I think that we're going to keep talking about this in our education at home, and the reason why is, again, to find new and meaningful ways to pursue our interests in wisdom, knowledge of self, of others, how others see us, and how we and our knowledge of the world. So I'm Matt Keene. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want, the Our Learning series. What would your put your name right here at the top, your person guide have in it that you would share with the next person you'd meet, or the next work project you get into, or with your neighbors?